E versus E. What does it mean? Are these both the same class of devices? Well, not really. In fact, the E on the Kobo and the E on the Nook don't mean the same thing. This is more of a fight between economy versus ecology. In terms of the Clara 2E, it is more eco in terms of ecology. It is made from over 85% recycled plastic, including 10% ocean-bound plastic like CDs, DVDs, plastic bottles, etc., all while remaining waterproof. The packaging as well and box is made with 100% recycled materials, including being printed in soy ink. The Barnes & Noble, on the other hand, is economical, meaning that it is cheaper for you to purchase and get into one, and cheaper than the standard Nook Glow Light 4. In the construction of the unit or the promotional material, it doesn't really show any ecological benefits. Of course, as you guys know, we have individual review videos on our channel of both of these units. We just really wanted to show off how they lay things out, how they approach things, as these guys are two of the big three. Amazon is coming up next month when they release the Kindle Basic 2022. So anyways, this one is made with over 85% recycled plastic, as we said, and this one is just cheaper. So that's kind of what the E means if you've already skipped over the intro. On the left is the Kobo, so we have everything at the top here, and then we have everything that you've sketched in my books. So this is stuff that is in your device, and this is stuff that you've recently read. Now they have the store dedicated to just the bottom row here and one little icon, which is Discover. Whereas Barnes & Noble has the top for you and the bottom half for them. The entire half of the screen is the store experience. So Barnes & Noble very much prioritizes the store kind of in half-half ratio. Amazon's kind of the worst at it. Although they allow you to swipe the screen up and down, they actually have most of the screen dedicated for the store. So let's just look around here a little bit. Barnes & Noble has a little bit of a drop down here if you tap the top. So you get the Wi-Fi, you get your glow light, and you get your battery level, and then see all settings. Kobo doesn't have a drop down. They don't have anything you can do up top, but they have an icon by icon based basis. So basically you can turn on the glow light by clicking glow light, you can turn on the Wi-Fi settings, and you can go to Wi-Fi settings there. Battery, you can view the battery and go to energy saving settings there. You can also sync, which does an update and syncs and looks for things that you've just loaded in or downloaded or whatever. And you have search. So they kind of went more of the route of a kind of icon based up top, whereas they have the traditional Android drop down. At the bottom, they both kind of show it the same. Home, My Books, Store, and more. Basically, like, this is home and the N button goes home, and then My Books, Store, and then more would be kind of that, which is the search, which is up top. And they have a couple things here. Go back to what you've been reading recently, or Barnes & Noble Readouts. Barnes & Noble Readouts is kind of like the Goodreads for Barnes & Noble. They have readouts. Barnes & Noble has their own thing, and then Amazon has their own thing via Goodreads. So they each have their own little individual services kind of thing. This is where you can read blogs and excerpts and serial reads and stuff like that. We'll be doing an individual video on this and Goodreads coming up in the future. The N button's really nice. You can press that to go home at any time. I really wish there'd be some sort of home button on Kobo's. Kobo's traditionally has never had home buttons on almost any of their units, so it's a little bit of a letdown in that regard. Let's just look at a book now and just compare the way they show things. You can see that the Barnes & Noble is significantly slower. The Kobo went right up, and that just took a long time. You have different ways to change pages. You can swipe, you can tap. This one you can swipe as well, and you can tap the physical page turn buttons. We'll take this opportunity to change this style of font to match this by showing you what it looks like, and we'll kind of do the same here as well. So we'll go to fonts, and on this side we will go to, let's see, we have Jingzhe. That seems to be some sort of Chinese font. We'll try to match as best we can. Does any of them kind of overlap? They actually do not. So we'll just choose something like that and that, for example. Now we'll up the size, and everything changes live in the background. I don't think I clicked that. I did not. Everything changes live in the background, and you can do line spacing as well. So we'll space this out a little bit and widen the margins. So this is really how you would change everything. So that's not exactly the same, but it's as close as we can get it. Also on the Kobo, if you go to Advanced, this is really nice because you can get a before and after look of what it looked like and what you want it to look like, and you will jump to that after you click Apply. We're not going to do that because we already changed the font. Now that these look kind of similar, you can see see, at least we can see with our bare eyes, that looks incredibly better than that. It's splitting hairs, but it is. That looks way more white than that does. On camera, it is 4K, but it's going through a lens, and it's going through YouTube, and it goes through your guys' phone or PC, so it's lost a little bit. This has a Carta 1200 screen, so it's very nice. You can long press on some things like that, and you get different ways, of course. Now, this is text, and these are icons, which is kind of the opposite of the way they laid out their drop-down and the home screen. So you can do read more, you can look online, you can long press for highlights and notes and all that kind of stuff. So it's really, they have their own kind of spin on it. Of course, they all have their navigation bars down below. However, on the Barnes & Noble, you can actually double tap the page turn buttons to go from chapter to chapter or section to section, depends on which way the book is laid out. So that's really cool because Kobo has no such page turn engine. Only Amazon and Barnes & Noble kind of do that. We'll look at something like a manga as well. So these are the two kind of mangas we have on each one. You have pinch and zoom on the Kobo. You get a little mini map. It is quite nice. It is quite fast as well. Carta 1200 does have better refresh capabilities. On the 4E, unfortunately, you cannot pinch and zoom, and I won't say that it's adequate for manga because it's not. It's just way too small. That is too small of a screen. That's basically the exact same screen size as a cell phone, just this cell right here. So unfortunately, the manga experience is not that great, and this is stuff downloaded directly from Barnes & Noble, so it's not even side-loaded, so there's really no excuse for the lack of functionality there. The way they lay out their stores are drastically different, actually. The ebooks on this unit are kind of in these sections, recommended, things that are going on now in specific categories, depending on what you viewed recently, top picks, categories themselves, and trending now. And over here, you get recommended for you based on what you've read, and some $1.99 or under sections right here on this turnstile. You also have categories here. Categories are laid out very differently as well, you will see here. You get historical fiction, and you have to go into expand more categories in order to see it, whereas Kobo just shows it to you straight up. Once you do get into something and you do click on something, we'll just click on these two random books right here. This is your buying decision. So this is for the Japanese market because we're in Japan right now, whereas Barnes & Noble doesn't have an international market, so it just goes to the USA store. So this is how it would look. You can pre-order, you can download a sample if it's available, preview now, buy, and you have everything in these little tabs here, much like you do on this. Amazon kind of swipes up and down, but Kobo and Barnes & Noble are pretty good at having everything in these little tabs. In terms of extra little bonuses on the Barnes & Noble, there aren't really any hidden gem kind of things. It's really just all business. On the Kobo, they give you a couple beta things. You get a web browser, you get large print mode, which boosts the entire kind of unit's magnification. You also get a sketch pad, which is kind of useless, but kind of nice if you need to jot something down. And you can save it, and it saves it right to your device as an SVG. So it's convenient, but just devoid of any sort of customization or features of any kind. It's kind of nice that it's there and you can view the sketches later, although I would have liked some organization because they just drop into your books. There's no sketch tab, which is a little bit of a letdown. Because the Barnes & Noble is an eco version in terms of your wallet, you don't get a warm light. That's kind of one of the things they removed from the regular 4 to the 4E. You just get a glow light. And it's more blue, and it's more kind of green tingy than the complete maximum blue on the Kobo. The Barnes & Noble glow light blue is not as good as any other blue. So unfortunately, there's no way to combat this issue. As you can see, the warm light is off on this. It isn't until we actually turn it on that we change the color. So you can kind of manage it a little bit better and find a nice even stone white. Whereas the Barnes & Noble, I do like that as you swipe, it changes. And the Kobo does not do that. As you swipe, it doesn't do anything. You can go to 0 and it doesn't do anything until you actually let go. Then it will do it. So it's a little bit of, I don't like that because you actually have to let go every single time and do the right hitbox every single time on the touch in order to see where you are, and your finger blocks the percentage. So I don't like the way they approach that, but the glow light, it's not even a contest. The Kobo has a way better glow light. In the end, the E is a little bit misleading on both of these because they don't mean the same thing. In fact, they both go the opposite direction. One goes a little bit more expensive with higher features and recycled materials, and the other allows you to get into one for less money. Either way, these two are the latest releases from the respective companies that you can buy today. For GoodEreader.com, this is Peter.